And welcome to Wizards pregame. Everyone, we got Cardo W. Jr. here. I'm Wilson Tarpe Jr. I'm going to get straight to it, man. The Washington Wizards visit the Orlando Magic this evening. Orlando's currently first in the Southeast Division at 36 and 28. The Magic on a 5-game win streak. Washington, on the other hand, is on a 9-game slide. The most recent loss coming a few days ago against the Miami Heat, who are second in the Southeast Division. We saw history made in that one as Bam Adebayo scored a career and franchise high 83 points. We saw Desmond Bain score 35 to push Orlando past the Cleveland Cavaliers in Orlando's last game, 128 to 122. As for the injury report, the Wizards will be without Anthony Davis, Keyshawn George, D'Angelo Russell, and Cam Whitmore. Orlando will be without Franz Wagner, Anthony Black, and Alex Morales. Orlando leads the season series 2-1. Tonight will be the final game of the season between these two teams. Now that all of that is covered, Cardell, what are your keys to tonight's game?
Well, have a much better defensive effort than what we saw on Tuesday. Let's, let's start there, dog. Like, all right, we understand what y'all playing for. That's fine, but come on, man. But on the Orlando side, for the Wizards to stay competitive and try, if they trying to win tonight, we'll see. Just stay competitive. They got to control Desmond Bain, man. He was on one against Cleveland. That was one of them games where you want to send a message, and the Magic delivered a message just last night, winning 128-122. But Desmond Bain, he did his thing, man. Had a monster game high 35 points, 12 and 19 from the field, 2 or 3 from deep. And he's a known shooter, and he only took 3 and made 2, so he was attacking. But had 6 rebounds and 6 assists, 9 and 10 from the free throw line, and no turnovers. He was on his game in 36 minutes. I normally would start with Paulo Banchero, who's found his rhythm as of late. I'm going to get to him in a minute, but Desmond Bain, you got to deal with him. And they're coming off a highly contested game intense game last night. So, dead legs. Test him, see if he's ready to go. Like, really go at him, make him have to guard, move around, see if you can fatigue him quick, man. Because he's definitely going to come in the game with all the confidence in the world, especially off of what the world just saw happen the previous game with you. So you have to do that. But the thing about Desmond Bain that a lot of people don't understand, they know he's a shooter. He can score the ball, strong, efficient 3-level score, shooting 49, 30, 38, 92 splits, which is ridiculous. So he's knocking on the door being a 50, 40, 90 player. He's also an adequate playmaker and rebounder. So you got to keep him off the boards. We all know he's a strong dude. He's 215, 220. He's a load for the wing position, but he can make plays as well, man. He's a smart, high IQ player. So when you're trying to corral him, you trap him, run him off the 3-point line, whatever it is you're trying to do to slow him down, the weak side help got to be there. They got to be aware because he can easily find the open man, and then they'll get to work. So you can't have him dictating the game in every phase, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to pick your poison so you can try to contain him. So definitely start with Bain, who's on fire coming in the game. And then Paulo Banchero, like I said, franchise player. He had 25, 8 and 7, their triple-double in that game. 8 18 from the field. 7 and 9 from the free throw line, which is his game. He's a beast, 6'10", 250. So he likes to use his size and athleticism, to punish opposing teams. He kind of starts inside and works his way out. You know what I mean? I think he gets in trouble where he starts on the outside and try to work his way in. He's shooting 31% from deep. He's not the most efficient this year, but when he gets high, he can knock him down. But the main thing with him is mid-range, mid-post, low post, lob threat, running the floor, and putting the ball on the ground and attacking the basket. You gotta be physical. You just gotta match his will. You gotta match him. You know what I mean? There's no other way, or it's gonna be a long night. He leads the team with 22.3 points, 8.6 rebounds, 5 assists on 46, 31, 77 splits. And think about that. That's high level production, and people looking at him like, it's a down year for him. He hasn't played well. So that tells you about how immense his talent is, man. You know what I mean? So, again, got to deal with him, Desmond Bain. And last but not least, Mr. Suggs, man. Deal with Mr. Suggs. He was huge. Anthony Black is out down the point guard. He stepped up. 12 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds, 3 steals, just setting the table, being the ultimate utility guy, just setting the table for everybody else to eat. And I'll pitch in when I need to. But his main calling card is defense. But he can score the ball. Very good. I wouldn't say elite, but he's a good scorer. You got to deal with him. Um, Shooting, he's not the most efficient, but he can get high because he's an NBA player. But he feeds off his defense, and he actually leads the team in assists with 5.2 assists, and you know what I mean, 5.2 assists, 3.7 rebounds, 13.7 points per game. You can't. I'm not saying he needs to be your primary concern, but if you don't pay enough attention to him, he can hurt you and beat you. And I really feel like he was the X factor in the win over Cleveland just last night. Um, Making Donovan Mitchell inefficient with 9 to 24. Just throwing bodies at him. Obviously, they then, you, you, you never know what you was gonna get for James Harden. He stepped up last night, but for the most part, they big part with Suggs. He made Mitchell inefficient, and Donovan Mitchell not only was just 9 for 24, he was 4 for 13. So they lost by 6. Some of them shots, I'm sure you would have loved to have back, but it's tough to do when you got Suggs, who's just as big and strong as you. Maybe not as explosive, but he's just as big and strong as you, trying to defend you. You know what I mean? And I feel like he did a good job. So, he's stepping up greatly in the role of being like the third or fourth option, where you have to kind of pay attention and not just worry about him potentially being a scorer, but also facilitating being the ultimate playmaker. Because you know what he's gonna do on defense. He can guard 1 through 3. Hell, I've seen him go down there with fours and bang. You know what I'm saying? Get stopped. So we already know what he bringing defensively. So when you got him scoring, facilitating, and rebounding and playing defense, that's a 4 dimensional threat that you now have to try to stop. On top of dealing with Paulo and dealing with Desmond Bain and Wendell Carter, who I don't want to forget, who had 11, 11 to 4 against the Cavs last night, man. We all know Orlando is talented. For whatever reason, they've been up and down this year. And a lot of it is predicated on some key injuries with, Franz Wagner being out and Paulo Mancaro just being, up and down, just to say the least. But you can tell they're starting to put it together as playoffs approach, man. They're starting to put all the BS to the side, just figure out a way to win. And that's a dangerous mix coming to the Wizards, especially coming off what they experienced on Tuesday. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. And I can't forget about Tristan Da Silva, man, who was huge as well last night. 23 points, 8 of 13 from the field, 3 of 8 from deep, 4 or 5 from the free throw line, man. You gotta, again, there's a lot of threats, and Suggs has a lot of weapons that he could try to find. So, yeah, 6'8", 217, Tristan Da Silva, on the average 9, had 23 last night. I'm pretty sure the entire Magic team will come into this game super confident.
Yeah, I think one of the big, as you mentioned earlier, talk about the defenses, primarily, specifically for me, with the way that Orlando likes to play, as much as they love to get downhill, it was a horrible display of playing defense without fouling a couple nights ago against Miami. Um, you, you got to offer some resistance to people getting downhill. This is not a great shooting team. You mentioned Bain, obviously, but they're gonna get downhill. You can't put them on the line. You can't bail them out. You need to slow them down. We'll see. We'll see what Washington's able to do. But again, they're riding a 5 game win streak. As you said, they're peaking at the right time. They're trying to, head down this stretch. They're not even like a full game above Miami, who's also trying to, both of them are trying to get into a nice flow down the stretch here. Because folks are trying to get good seating. Who wants to who wants to be on the road in the playoffs, man? All these games matter. We were saying that, a couple months ago before All Star break and everything. Well, guess what? We're here. We're at that point. Regardless of what Washington has going on, Orlando's trying to get this win streak from 5 to 6. 'Cause what does that look like if you're Orlando? Miami got the win over Washington, and you don't. But also, from Washington's standpoint, as you mentioned, you can't have a repeat from another night. Like these are that got done by somebody in your division. the other night.
Yeah.
Somebody inside your division. Like you said, I guess I get what's going on this year, what have you, but Pride got to kick in somewhere, like you said, at least be more competitive because that was just, I still don't have the proper words to put to the evening. So, Cardell,
And,
go ahead.
and Trey's playing to make sure it's more competitive. See what
See,
I'm saying?
again, I'm going to keep my words to myself. Um, Cardell laid out the keys for you guys. Enjoy the nice game. We will check in with you guys afterwards for Wizards Outlook. As always, feel free to hit the comment section. We'd love to hear what you guys think. We're not the only ones watching these games. You guys are watching too. And I can tell by social media, y'all have a lot of thoughts. So come on in here, share them. We'll do what we can in terms of discussing them. Y'all enjoy the game.